When you're cold or need something to do, cast on a project or see an old one through. Grab a beer, take a seat, frog with a friend or two. Fuck this knit. Fuck this knit. Fuck it.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Fuck This Knit, the podcast where we talk about knitting and we swear a lot. I am 1/3 of Fuck This Knit. I am Amber, and tonight I am drinking a New Holland Poet Oatmeal Stout. And I am a huge New Holland fangirl, and so the fact that I am drinking this makes me super happy.
I'm Erin, and tonight I'm having the Moody Tongue Caramelized Chocolate Churro Baltic Porter, because yes, it's amazing. You would hate it, Amber, because it's chocolatey.
Yeah.
It is very chocolatey.
I took a sip of it, and I loved it very deeply.
Yeah, because it's like a Mexican chocolate, so it's got a little bit of a spicy blend on it, hence the churro. It's good stuff.
And it has that, like, actual chocolate flavor, not, like, the fakey chocolate flavor that some beers can get. But anywho, I'm Emily, and I am drinking a Ballast Point Victory at Sea porter with coffee and vanilla. It is very delicious. It's my first time having it, and I like it. And it has a sweet skeleton pirate who reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean on the label, so that's
No, I
cool.
really like the Ballast Point artwork, because almost all of it involves skeletons,
Yes.
and it's great.
Well, the Sculpin, their grapefruit IPA, has this really freaking awesome picture of, I think it's like a pufferfish.
Ooh.
It's really nice.
We got on a thing at work for some Ballast Point event for Valentine's Day, something. But it's a bunch of skeletons at a table, like, eating cake.
That sounds
I
awesome.
want to hang it up in my home. I keep trying to call dibs.
Speaking of cake, we're also all eating cupcakes tonight. We won't eat them while we are talking to you, because then you would have to hear our...
Mastication.
Yes, and we already
I'd
did
be
that to
drooling.
you once, so we'll spare you this time.
I would be drooling so much because cupcakes are my jam.
But yeah, we all went to Gigi's Cupcakes, like, pretty much immediately before we recorded. And
Because podcasting essentials.
yeah, I mean, we gotta
Cupcakes.
have
Food and
that
beer.
sugar boost to get through.
Okay, Emily, would you like to start us off with our news?
Yes, we have some news. So our Ravelry group, which is called Fuck This Knit, has 48 members. Yay!
Yay! I'm excited.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and people have been talking on there a bunch and sharing their projects, and they've been telling us where they learned to knit, because that was the topic of our last episode, and that is all very awesome and cool. Also, we have had our first episode downloaded 149 times, which sounds like not that much maybe if you are a regular podcast person, but we're not on iTunes. That's all just getting downloaded through the website, so that's pretty cool. We will be on iTunes next month, not this episode, but the next episode. We are going to go live on iTunes. We're waiting until we have 3 episodes because of weird iTunes reasons.
Because reasons.
Yeah. And other news, we are now on YouTube. There's no video, it's just audio and our
That's news
logo.
to me.
Yeah. This is in fact news, yes.
So, no, I think we literally have had 4 views on our non-video, but it's just some people do all of their podcasts through YouTube, so I thought we should be on there just in case there's someone who only listens to podcasts through YouTube and wants to pay attention to us. I'm not expecting it to gain many fans, but it's there in case that's how you get your podcasts, and we want to be flexible. We're also on Google Play and Stitcher right now, so if you don't want to have to go to our website and download through there, you can go to Stitcher or Google Play.
That's so exciting.
It is exciting.
Okay, now that news is out of the way, it's time for our completed items. Does anyone want to talk about any items they completed? Erin?
Sure, since I did one.
Yay!
We're proud of
Yay!
you.
I know, me too. I think we discussed it in the last podcast. I don't have as much time to knit as the other two, so my finished lists are always going to be much smaller.
But it's okay. As long as you finish stuff, that's all that really
I
matters.
did. I finished a pussy hat, and it was great.
Yes, and it looked great too.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Cat ears. It's the for a cause. Cat ears for a cause. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. Really and truly. So yeah, that was it. I finished my pussy hat.
Well, I also only have one completed item. Mind you, it was a big ticket item.
Or say, yeah.
I completed my
very
sweater, the Row by Michelle Wang. and it has been sent off to its new owner, and I am very happy to say that I kind of want to knit it again.
It's very pretty. You should share your Ravelry project to our group. You know how you can share it to groups, and then people could go look at it and see how beautiful it is.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably put my pussy hat on Ravelry. Oh, yay.
Okay, Emily.
I finished 3 things,
Yep.
which
Poor.
is not that many for me. But I finished my Blueberry Tarn Socks by Louise Tilbrook. That is that like kind of neon-y sock
Birthday
that I
cakey.
was doing before. Yeah, it's like confetti. And I basically knit 3 socks because I knit one and had to rip it out because it was too small. And I had knit like the whole sock aside from the toe. So that was sad. But now I'm wearing them and they're on my feet and it is exciting. I also finished my worm hat for the hashtag wormalong.
Mm-hmm.
So I win.
Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't win. Someone in our forum totally finished that
So
first.
you win a trip outside. Yeah, I said it. Let's go.
Cat fight!
So I did that, and both of those I talked about the yarn and stuff in the previous episode, so I'll spare you. And then I also finished a pussy hat, and I used the Kit Kat pattern instead of the actual pussy hat official pattern because I wanted to knit it in the round because that makes more sense to me. And that's by Andre Sue Knits, and it's a free pattern. And I finished that in Cascade Yarns Heritage, held double because that's a sock yarn. And the yarn store I went to didn't have any worsted weight pink because so many people made pussy hats. So that's cool.
Yeah, I know they sent a bunch, I think, to DC.
Yeah. I mean, I was super late. I literally went to go buy the yarn days before the March happened.
Well, you beat me because I didn't even make one.
That's okay. Well, I don't even have it with me to show you because I actually gave it to my best friend because she wanted one. And I was like, I'm just going to give it to you. Maybe I'll make another one if I want one.
I highly recommend wearing it out in public. People will come up to you and be like, oh man, women, I should say, well, mostly. I did have one guy actually come up to me and was just like, I love your hat. Good job. We got to stick it to him any way we can. I'm like, yes, sir, we do. But then you'll also get lovely little notes left on customer receipt saying stuff like, don't bring politics into the bar. Well, fuck you. That's all I got.
My favorite pussy hat moment. Mind you, I don't have a pussy hat, but Grace has a Batgirl hoodie that has the little Batgirl ears on it.
It's so cute.
And someone thought that it was a pussy hat.
Now it makes me want to knit a pussy hat for your child.
She would wear it.
I know she would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the Unraveling with Greg and Joey podcast, and they're 2 dudes who knit, and that is cool. But they, I guess, I forget which one of them, but one of them was out at a restaurant and saw a girl knitting, and he was like, oh, is that a pussy hat? And she was kind of like weirded out that a dude would know what that was. But
Well, like I said, I had one guy, because I've been wearing it to work a lot, especially after being told by a customer not to. Because apparently my pussy hat and my I Stand with Planned Parenthood button are extremely offensive. So I'm wearing them every day, basically, at this point. Because fuck you. And no, it was really nice to have so many people come up to me and be like, no, that's awesome. Keep up the good work. I'm like, yay.
I cross-stitched a sign for, did I show you that? I cross-stitched a sign for a protest march that I went to last week. It was Rally for American Values. That was the name of it, and it was organized by the Louisville mayor.
I was going to say, that's the one that the mayor showed up at
Yeah, it
and
was
gave
at
a
the
huge speech.
Muhammad Ali Center.
yeah.
And I cross-stitched on a piece of cardboard, welcome, and then a heart. I was going to do welcome heart refugees, but it takes a while to cross-stitch through cardboard, so that's as far as I got in like the hour before I went to the march that I decided to make the sign.
It's still really awesome.
Yeah, I'm sad I have not
It's
seen a
in my
picture of
closet.
this yet.
I'll show it to you.
Okay, on to works in progress. This is our favorite section because they will continue to be super long lists. I'll go ahead and go. I have a pair of socks that I'm making. That's my purse knitting. It's for my friend Kirsten. They're vanilla 2 at a time toe up, so there's really like no pattern whatsoever. I just cast on and go. And it's by a local dyer called Spun for the Whole Family. And as far as I know, you can really only get it at our local yarn store. So good luck trying to find it. And then, of course, I still have the Hanami Stole with the Miss Babs Yet yarn. It's so scrumptious, but I am almost finished with it. I'll probably finish it next week.
Nice.
So, yeah, so once the sweater got done, it was like knit, 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 and so it's quite literally all I think I have to do is the ruffle left, and that shouldn't take me too long.
That shouldn't be too long for you.
And then, of course, I have my worm. And
Hashtag worm along.
Hashtag worm along.
Hashtag I'm further than you.
And yeah, I'm out of the hosts, I am the one that's furthest behind, and this is very new experience for me because normally I'm the quick one. And
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying every minute of actually being ahead on this one.
and I feel awkward, and I have a feeling as soon as the Hanami is done.
Oh no, as soon as the
it's-
Hamanami is done,
yeah.
you're gonna beat me, and I acknowledge this now on the podcast. But I'm enjoying this moment of me being further repeats into said worm hat.
That's all of my works in progress right now, because the rest of my works in progress are actually hibernating because I have so many things.
Let's see, what am I actively working on? My worm hat.
Working on it right now.
Working on it right now, actually, and I'm about 7 repeats in, so moving right along. I may end up doing an extra repeat just because I'm using a fingering weight yarn instead of sport weight like it calls for, so I may end up doing extra repeats. I'm also working on...
Oh, I did mine in fingering, and I did 2 extra.
Yeah, because I want it to be slouchy, so I'm going to end up going more than the 10 I think it calls for. Let's see. I'm also working on a pair of vanilla socks in Felici that, as soon as the worm hat's done, are going to be my sole purse knitting. On the gusset on the first one of those, so that's exciting. I know, except I made a mistake, which is why I got to be my @YarnLoveChallenge Instagram challenge mistake photo, because somehow I've ended up with an odd number of stitches, so I've increased one too many or did not do the double increase on one section. Who knows? So it's going to be ripped back a little bit. Let's see. Hat, socks. I think that's about all I actually had. Everything else has gone into hibernation because I have startitis. So...
I am still working on my Snowbird sweater by Heidi Kiermaier.
Oh yeah, I am working on my sweater.
You
the
are.
Braid Hills. That's right. I knew there was something else that I'm actively trying to work on.
Sweater.
Sweater. That's it.
My sweater sleeves are done now, so that's cool. So I'm just working on the body, and it is a long cardigan, so I have quite a ways to go on it still. But I'm almost to the point that I said would be the halfway point for that Harry Potter house cup yarn thing, so that's good. And I'm also working on my Mukari shawl by Amba O'Brien, and that's in Malabrigo sock, and that is a fingering weight shawl that is a lot of yards and is taking a while. It is 1,200 yards of yarn. So I have done 1.5 full stripe sections and 1.5 full lace sections since Louis last recorded. So I have a while to go on that too. Everything else that I'm working on, I have cast on since last time we recorded. So
Well, you guys can go straight into that because I haven't cast on a single thing. So
You're such an adult. Sometimes. Don't look at me like that.
I
didn't mean it.
I'm reserving my startitis for when I get my next Will Work for Yarn project.
Man, I mean, the startitis has been rough. So I have managed to cast on 3 knit-along projects. 2 of them for the monthly LSG thread. Mixtape by Natasha Sills. And it actually has like a suggested music list on it, and it's great.
Prince,
David Bowie. There's just, because it's all about a lot of the musicians and everything we lost in 2016. So I've cast that on now twice because I'm using Volmisa lace and it called for a fingering. So I'm actually going to rip it out again, I think, and go down to size 4s just to get the kind of fabric that I would like. I mean, because I'm going to have plenty of yardage. It does call for like 14. It calls for a lot, but Volmisa, I have more. And also the Viajante by Lucy Haig, because there's a Haig-along going on in the monthly thread, and that's also in Volmisa lace garn, because I'm having a very Volmisa moment, apparently.
Those happen.
Oh, yes. They don't happen enough, really. And also, we talked about the Jimmy Beans wool Mad
this is on my list,
Tosh.
too.
Yeah, I wonder how it got on mine.
Not me.
No. So we talked about the Mad Tosh mystery knit along for the semi-precious Tosh Jimmy Beans wool subscription. And as soon as we finished recording the podcast last time, I went home and signed up. within mere moments of entering my house. So January showed up and I had it cast on and pretty much completed the first clue the next day.
It's really pretty.
It's so squishy and I really like how it's working up, and I was really sad actually when I finished the clue.
Me too. I started mine at knit night last week and I finished it and I was like, oh, I kind of want to keep working on this, but I can't because there's no more pattern.
There's no more pattern, and
I
apparently
don't
we
have
need
the
the next
yarn.
yarn. So yeah, no, it's been a raging case of startitis, but
But
thankfully
in theory, we should get it next week because they're
That's
supposed
right.
to come mid-month, but last one was late because Jimmy Beans had the whole
Flooding
kerfuffle.
yeah, so that's right. Ooh, I'm excited.
Yes.
Because I don't know what it's going to be, but I can't wait because so far January is right up my alley and I can't wait to finish this thing and wear it. And I did notice the other day that the subscriptions are still available, and if you want to go back and purchase previous months, you can add them separately into your cart.
Yes.
So is this becoming an official Fuck This Knit along?
I mean, it probably
It
should.
probably
Hint,
should be,
hint.
because we're going to talk about
Wink,
it every
wink, nudge,
month.
nudge.
Like, this is happening every
I
month.
I did say at the very get-go
Yeah.
that I would agree to do any knit along that you guys were doing.
And I mean, did you see?
I did.
It's
I did.
very pretty.
I know. It's
We're
just
enablers.
I know my brain is like refuse to startitis because I know once I let go, all hell's gonna break loose.
But this is kind of a contained startitis because you only get the 70 yards every month and you can't really do much else beyond that.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's the problem.
It's only $6.50 a month. And
Yeah,
actually,
and I think that's completely reasonable
a-
for me to be able to
You could do that, but you could also, the gift card that you were talking about earlier, you could get that to Jimmy Beans and do that.
Oh, I hate you. That's such a good idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love it so much that I was
Where's
tempted
the
to go
pen?
back and sign up for the blanket one just so I could have
I
double,
know, that's just like a big monthly chunk of money. But
like 20 something.
yeah, it's just like to have them.
I
I
know.
don't like having reoccurring charges every month. They suck.
Oh, I know. Trust me, but I'm still tempted. If I like, if February's color shows up next week and I'm just like, oh dear Jesus, give me, I may actually break down and do
Do
both
the blanket.
just because I'm enjoying it so much.
It is very pretty. What is the blanket yarn vintage?
I'm going to look it up right now on my phone.
Because I know it's not, because the shawl that we are talking about is the yarn you get every month is Tosh Merino Light,
Which I have actually,
which is a light fingering.
right, and I've not worked with Mad Tosh before, even though I have some in my stash, but
Oh,
that's because
I-
I'm sable at this point.
A large amount of my stash is Mad Tosh.
I'm mad at
actually,
myself.
not even, like, hardly any of my stash is Mad Tosh, because when I get it, I use it immediately. So a lot of my projects are Mad Tosh.
I'm a little mad at myself for not, because I have 2 skeins of Mad Tosh sock weight something in my
Tosh
stash.
sock?
Maybe, I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I purchased it. I just remember one's green, and the other one's probably purple. I can't even remember what the other one is. I don't know. Just sock weight, squishy, went to live in stash.
Do you have any other things that you started?
Yes, I started some vanilla socks with the White Birch Fiber Arts Nothing Says Screw You Like a Rainbow.
And I want that yarn too.
It's so magical.
I think we all want that yarn.
It's so cool.
Knitting with this yarn makes me so happy. And also, I started these socks on Wednesday last week, and I already have like a completed sock.
Because you're a whore, yeah.
Yeah, but also because it's like the stripes just make me want to only work on that because I like seeing the rainbow
I like
stripes.
the little clouds.
I know, and I made the heel all clouds. They're very happy. And then, so I also have the semi-precious obs. And then I have also started a pair of vanilla socks in a giant husband size 14 shoe size out of Crazy's Albert Ball.
Zauber.
And I'm calling them my cinnamon roll socks because the name of the color is Zimtschnecki, which apparently means cinnamon roll in German. So
I love it.
Then.
that's my very good German
I was about to
accent.
say, can you say that one more time?
Zimtschnecki. Yeah, so I'm doing those, and because his feet are so ginormous, always his socks are going to have a contrasting toe and heel, because it's impossible to not do that. They're just boring nitpick stroll black.
It's very practical, though. I've used Knit Pick Stroll Black for many a toe and heel.
Yep, I keep
It's always in my
a
stash.
ball around.
Yeah.
So I have looked it up. It is the Precious Tosh blanket subscription is Tosh Vintage,
Okay.
for
That's their
$22
worsted
a
weight.
month. But apparently you get a skein, full skein every month
Yeah.
for the blanket.
22 is like the regular retail for a skein of vintage, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be like 20, and they're factoring in shipping costs in there. I'm not totally sure.
I don't know either. All I know is that I'm really tempted because I've been battling some startitis.
I have a skein of
Hardcore.
vintage in my stash if you want to like squish it.
I should
and
squish
see what
that
it
before I
feels
go
like.
home. Yeah. I'm going to feel up your
And
stash.
that's the mitts that I had last time that I made Chad were made out of that. Stash enhancements, I have lots of shame, and I've been talking for a while already, so why don't you go first?
I have absolutely nothing. Other than the Jimmy Bean's Wool Mad Tosh subscription. I've been good this month. Haha.
I haven't.
I have one stash enhancement. It is from the final installment of the Mad Geek tour of the Supernatural portion.
Oh yeah.
And it, of course, so Mad Color, probably my favorite indie dyer ever. The colorway is Castiel, and it is a wool silk blend, single ply. And I swear, as soon as it came in, I was just like loving on it so much. And Alex saw me and he goes, "Oh, the yarn came in." And I was like, yes, it did. Squish. And yeah, so it really is the true colors of Castiel. It's this beigey and gray and luscious, and I'm drooling.
You are a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go ahead while I take care of this.
Cool.
She cleans up.
So I have lots of stash enhancement because I am weak to the wool fumes.
Oh, you just wait till we take you to Kentucky Sheep and Wool.
I was supposed to not be buying stuff in preparation for that, but clearly
Our whole podcast after that is going to be nothing but stash enhancement.
It will
I
be
can't even
what we
talk.
saw and what we bought there. That will be what happens in that episode.
Yeah, basically, because we're not going to have time for anything else after we talk about what I bought, because that I'm holding out.
So I went to a yarn crossing to get the boring Cascade pink yarn for that pussy hat. And also while I was there, I picked up the skein of Tosh Vintage that I am mentioning because I had leftovers from the mitts I made Chad, but not enough to make him a whole hat. So I got another skein. So I'm going to do a little like hat with a contrasted brim for that. And that is, I believe it's the Whiskey Barrel colorway, which is like a really warm tonal brown. And then I also ordered something off Etsy from Long Dog Yarn. Which I had just discovered because it was being advertised to me through Ravelry a bunch. So if you listen to this, your advertisement worked. I bought yarn from you from that. It's called Dark Dimension in her sock base, and I also got a little mini skein for heels, for contrast heels, and that's called Highlighter. And it is very bright and highlighter-y, and the...
Yeah, I'm going to need to see this before I
I was
leave.
about to say, is it yellow highlighter or?
Yes, yellow highlighter. And it has like a gray and the highlighter color.
Holy moly!
Yes. So all of her yarn is pretty
and it's
brightly
so
colored.
Squishy.
It's very squishy.
I think pretty brightly is an understatement. That is.
It's nice too because she keeps her shop really frequently updated. So even though stuff changes, because like those indie dyers, like a lot of times their shops are just empty and you gotta wait for the update and then you can get stuff. But you can pretty much always get something from her, and she changes it up, and they're all really bright.
So squishy.
So yeah, I saw a bunch of those, and that is the toned down purchase for that because I was she had a million like really pretty speckled mini skeins, and I was like putting together a fade because I like that Find Your Fade shawl, but I don't want to use that much yarn. So I was like putting together just a fade of mini skeins to make like a hitchhiker fade, but that was like $80. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna get the sock yarn and I'm not gonna spend $80 on mini skeins. So I got that. Then I also went to go visit my sister for her 21st birthday in Iowa, where she goes to school. Her local yarn store there, which is called Knit and Knot in Bettendorf, Iowa, was having their 5-year anniversary, and they were doing buy 2, get 1 free of everything in the store, including books, including fiber, including needles, literally every single item that you can purchase in their
No
store.
wonder you went boom.
Pretty sure my wallet just blew up, like
Why
set
I
on
went
fire
crazy.
in my
Well,
purse.
and
yeah.
my dad was
Just
with
thinking
me,
about
and
it.
he was like super nice and was like, "Buy anything you want. Like yarn's not that expensive." I was like, "It kind of is though."
But if you insist,
but if
twist
you
my arm.
insist,
It's
yeah.
fine.
So this is all the stuff I got for that. I got a ball of opal in the ladies and gentlemen color Marcant. Anyways, and that is actually to make my dad a pair of socks because I figured he should get socks for buying me all this stuff. And he keeps saying that he wants more socks because I made him socks for Christmas, and now he wants all of his socks to be made by me. And that's impossible if I want to knit anything that is not giant man socks. So I got that. I got a ball of Regia that is really bright pink, orange, purple.
I mean, I need to see this stuff in my life.
This is
That
the
is very
Regia.
bright.
It's very
Oh,
bright.
Dear goodness. What is with you and bright colors?
I like them. I like
I
them
like
for
bright
socks.
colors.
Yeah. And this is the
Most of this is actually not bright enough for me. You know this.
Marcant.
See, I like that.
I like that too.
It's very neutrally.
It is. And then I got this Regia
Ooh, that's not bad.
design line by Cafe Fawcett, and it is the icing sugar color, which is grays and like light, very grayed out, colorful stripes and like purple and green and brown and stuff.
Yeah, that one's nice. I like that one. That one might have to disappear.
No,
Just shove it down your shirt. She won't
I
notice.
got. I only have.
I
one
think
here,
she
but
wouldn't
I got
notice.
two
My
of
shirt's a little
those.
tight today.
Just put it between the boobs.
Yeah, put it in the.
It'll just look like
our
you're wearing a
boss.
sports bra. Uniboob.
The sleeve.
Uniboob.
You'll have some sports bra uniboob. She'll never notice.
Yes, I would notice. And
She's only saying that because she doesn't want me to take it.
the skein of Malabrigo sock, which Erin is going to try and steal from me because it's green and purple, and those are all of her loves.
Don't let her touch it. Just hand it here.
It's what's the color name?
I will
It's
shove that down my shirt.
Zars
Yeah.
Zamora, and it's really dark with really deep purple and
It's
green.
really pretty.
It is.
How nice of you to bring that for me. Yeah. So you're going to shove that one down your shirt. I see how you are.
And
Because
then,
you and I like a lot of the same colors,
I know.
and this is definitely one of them. Holy moly, that's pretty.
yes,
I
it-
just got
That's fine. Shove it down your shirt. I'll shove the other one down my shirt. Then we'll swap
We'll
when we get
swap
to
in
the
the car.
car because I'm taking you home. So,
Uh-huh.
and then I also got two of these brown sheep Wildfoot luxury sock yarn, which is just kind of like Barbara Pole gray, black, white.
I have some of that in my stash.
It's kind of boring, but I got it to do heels and toes for man
Mine's
socks.
Purpley
Yeah.
something.
Just to mix it up and not use stroll all the time. And I like the Barbara Pole. Give it a little.
I find Stroll to be so hard not to just rely on that for toes.
Yeah, I just want
Oh, I have a kitty attacking me.
Albus Dumble Kitty is attacking the worm hat right now.
Yep.
And then I also have, this is the last thing that I got from, also got a bag and a Knitter's Pride Carbon size 1 circular needle in 40 inches to do magic loop. But I don't really like it because the cable is weird. So I think I'm going to get a different one.
I think you called it kinky.
It is
You did, in
kinky.
fact, say kinky.
It's basically
But not
50
the fun
Shades
kind of
gray.
No, that's the bad kind of
It
kinky
is.
is 50 Shades of Grey. We want to get real here.
Agreed.
Yeah. That is
facts.
not the good kind of kinky.
But anyways, that yarn is really pretty there.
Yes, this is Malabrigo Arroyo in Indicieta, which is interesting because that color is also in the shawl that I am knitting right now, but it looks nothing like this skein. I got this to make me a hat because I made the Tofty hat by, I don't know, I'd have to look it up. I made a Tofty hat by a person, and I really liked it, and it was a Christmas present, and I want
It'll be
one
in the
for
show
me.
notes.
So yeah, it'll be in the show notes. So that's all that I got from Knit and Knot. And I'm unfortunately not done talking about yarn that I have bought.
Holy moly.
Oh, and I also got fiber from there. So I also got this fiber that is like really pretty autumns.
Wow.
It's like orange, red, brown. And it is from the Painted Tiger, which I'm guessing is a local dyer to Iowa. I have not heard of them. And it's from their 2014 fiber club, apparently, according to the label. So it had been chilling there for a while, so I rescued it. So there's that. It's just Shetland wool top. Got this skein of Jinx yarns
Oh, yeah.
that I showed you guys last week, but I wanted to talk about it on the podcast because it's so majestic.
I really do need some of that yarn in my life.
So Jinx Yarns is another Etsy indie dyer type person, and she is the kind where you gotta wait for her updates.
GYNX,
Yes.
by the way. I'm pretty sure she's updating right now.
She is. She updates on Tuesdays. So it is her Strong Sock self-striping, and it is the House Cup colorway, which is why I needed it. It is 8 stripes for each of the 2 colors of the Harry Potter houses. So that is cool. And then this weekend, I went to Lexington and I know, I told you I had way too much to talk about. And I went to...
I'm just amused because usually in this scenario, it's me who has to do all of this talking about fashion announcement. I've just been really good.
The large bulk of it was not my money. It was my dad's money. So that's why it's extra ridiculous. But I went to Rebel Yarns in Lexington. And I actually picked up the Knitters Against Swatches expansions because they invented those, apparently. I didn't know. I had heard about it on the internet and didn't realize it was like a Kentucky thing. So
Woohoo.
That's cool. I think we should do a bonus episode of the podcast where we play that.
Yes, because you have not actually opened those yet, I see. But there
haven't.
are some really, really fun cards in there. I believe one's a Fun for Merkin. There's another one about casting 600 stitches onto the wrong size needle. Oh. Like... Because I bought the first expansion. They now apparently have 2, but I bought the first one last year at Kentucky Sheep and Wool and immediately went home and just read all the cards because they are hysterical.
Yeah, I wanted to wait to read them until we played.
Yeah.
So they'd be a
that makes sense.
surprise.
Yeah, they're great.
And then I also got another Zauberball.
And it's greens and purples and
It is
pinks
greens
and it's
and
going down my
purples.
shirt.
I was about to say, don't let her take it.
It's too late. It's mine now.
I
You had a
I
Zauberball.
wrote down what it is.
Good,
No,
because you're never seeing it
she
again.
didn't have a Zauberball. What are you talking about? There's no such thing
There's
as
no
a Zauberball.
Zauberball. What?
And I got that because they had just gotten a shipment of crazy Zauberballs, so they had like all of the colors, which was neat. And my favorite socks that I like to wear most often are Zauberball, and I'm really enjoying knitting my husband those Zauberball socks, so I got it. And the name of that color is Blasser Shimmer.
And what does that mean?
I haven't looked it up yet, actually. And then I also got this fiber from Deviant
Ooh,
Fibers.
that is very pretty.
That's a really rich blue.
blue.
I
Like,
know,
so
right?
rich.
It's like the bluest blue that ever blued.
I'm blue. Dabu Debo.
It's blue. It's blue raspberry
da.
candy flavor blue. That is the
It
color
is.
blue it is.
It's very blue raspberry.
That should be the colorway name. What's the colorway name?
The colorway name is Blow Away.
No,
No,
it's
it's not blue raspberry candy.
Better
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
And it is 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, so it's got like white streaks, and 10% nylon.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And now I can actually stop talking about all the stuff that I've gotten. There's an embarrassing pile of yarn on the table now.
Great. Take a small break. Get some water there, and we'll move on to. Oh wait, no, because you don't get to stop talking, because now we have to move on to our question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean-
keep talking.
Okay.
Haha.
So, we have a question box forum chat thing in our Ravelry group. So if you ever want to ask us a question, you should go on there and ask us about anything you want. We'll try and answer it. But we did receive one via our Facebook page from Rebecca Coburn, and she asked us, do you guys use yarn bowls? If so, what are the pros and cons? I'm trying to decide whether or not to get one for myself and would value your opinion. And she also included a link to an article called These Nerdy Yarn Bowls Are Ridiculously Cute on fashionablygeek.com. And there was a picture of like a Dalek that said exterminate on a yarn bowl and one that said winter is coming, knit faster. So yeah, yarn bowls. Thoughts?
Well, I actually own a yarn bowl by Pawley Studios. I believe it is Pawley. They're actually located in Kentucky. Which that was one that I didn't know was located here because I'd seen their mugs everywhere because they're the ones behind the fuck off I'm knitting mugs.
Oh, I like those.
Right. So they're actually located in Russellville, Kentucky. And I purchased a very beautiful ceramic yarn bowl from them as well as a mug, 2 mugs at this point now. And I really like my yarn bowl for when I'm knitting at home, especially if I'm knitting something complicated and beaded. So I put the yarn in the bowl on the floor next to me because I'm usually curled up on the couch and go. And then if I want to take it anywhere, I just, take it out of the little loop and put it in a bag and go. I actually want to get another yarn bowl from them probably at Kentucky Sheep and Wool this year. Of course, the one I got is purple and green glaze. Shocking.
Yeah, I think I might want one that is ceramic. I have one that my mother-in-law
that's
got me
beautiful.
for Christmas, and it's really pretty. It's dark wood. It's from darngoodyarn.com. This is like their brand's yarn bowl, I guess. They advertise it to me on Facebook a bunch, so I'm sure you've seen it before. And I really like it. I've never had one before, and it's nice to like put it on the coffee table while I'm knitting on the couch and stuff. Only complaint about it is that the like spiral part,
The swirl.
can catch on yarn sometimes because it's wood.
That's why I
and
like the
that's
ceramic
why I
one,
kinda
because it's
want a
got the same
ceramic
kind of
one.
swirl on design on this one, and I've not had a problem with it
It's
yet.
totally fine with fingering because it's thin enough, but I tried to use a thicker yarn and it was a problem.
My yarn bowl is also like twice the size of yours, because I picked a bit like a medium sized one. They had one though that could hold like a blanket's worth of yarn. I think they said it was Big Bertha. It's huge, and it was gorgeous. Yeah, it was. That's a coffee table yarn bowl, like centerpiece.
I don't actually have a yarn bowl, and I don't really plan on ever getting a yarn bowl. Mostly because most of my projects go with me everywhere, so I just keep them in the knitting bags, and that kind of acts like a yarn bowl for me, I guess. So I just accumulate more bags. Bowls are pretty, but I don't really need one.
Legit.
Yeah. No, I need more bags. That is true. But I definitely would like a second yarn bowl, maybe of a different size, because I picked, like I said, like a medium-ish sized bowl, and having a slightly larger one, or maybe just the same size. I don't think I want a smaller one, but I really like Poly Studios and would like to give them more of my money. And I can only have so many coffee mugs, so more yarn bowls.
Can never have too many coffee mugs.
It's true. I have a wall of coffee mugs right over there.
Yes, I know, but I'm running out of space.
Just make a wall hanging.
My,
Problem solved.
my apartment is only so big, so...
Okay, so on to our actual segment for this episode.
Yay!
Now that we're done talking about stash enhancements.
Sorry.
Sorry, not
Sorry,
sorry.
not sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, you should not be
So-
sorry about stash enhancement.
This time around, we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We talk about our favorite, our least favorite, and our ugliest finished objects or not so finished objects we've ever had. I think we'll just do a round of good and then bad, and then we'll talk about the ugly. So my good one happens to be my favorite pair of socks that I've ever created. It's using the Harvest Dew pattern by Yvette Knoll. And of course, it uses Mad Color Fiber Arts. And the Slink.
We promise they don't sponsor us.
Yeah.
We've just, Amber and I have...
I sponsored them.
Right. Amber and I have given Mad Color a lot of our money in the last, 2 years, I think is how long we've been.
I think it's closer to 3.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've given her a lot.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So, yes, Amber has a lot in her stash. I have just as much, if not more, in mine. So, yeah, it's just a dyer that's going to be brought up a lot. We can't help it.
The baseway is called Slink. It has a little bit of silk in it. And the colorway is the Last Centurion. So it's nice burgundy and yellows. And for our lovely Rory from Doctor Who is the Last Centurion. But my favorite thing about these socks is the fact that they fit so well. Like, the pattern was made, I feel like, for my feet. Because it works so well. Because a lot of times I have problems with the heel fitting properly, or maybe like with the amount of stitches it doesn't fit quite right on the cuff or across my foot. But with this one, it really does. It just fits my foot perfectly, and I wear them all the time. And I keep thinking that I need to make myself some more pairs of this particular sock. That might happen with my startitis. But anyways, Erin, what's your good?
My favorite thing, so for years I have struggled with actually trying to achieve lace, and last year I achieved it for the first time with the Phoenix's Tail by Nim Teasdale, and I knit it using 100 Ravens Iachos, I cannot pronounce that Greek word, mini skein set in the colorway Hekete, which was basically a grade to purple gradient. It's gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
I need to reblock it because I wear it all the time, and now it's starting to curl up at the edges because I love it so much. It's my favorite thing ever, and it's just this great big triangular beautiful shawl that was really easy to knit. Like, the pattern was so well done. It's set up so that you can use basically however much yardage you want. It's very customizable. Loved it. We'll probably knit another one with another gradient, just even bigger.
My good is the Spectra that I knit it's by Stephen West, and it is a really light intarsia project. It's the it kind of is a circular scarf, but the ends don't meet. But with the intarsia, it really curves around and makes kind of a big ruffle. And I did it in Knit Picks Chroma gray, and then their Vermont color, which transitions from like really autumny colors. It's like orange and green and purple. And I actually gave that to my mother-in-law for Christmas because I was always making that for her. But it turned out super pretty, and I just am impressed with myself for how nice it turned out. And actually, I like that one too because Knitpicks actually asked me if they could share that on their social media, and they did, and it got like 3,000 likes and stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah.
It's like knitting famous.
You're so famous.
I'm so famous.
So famous. Mm-hmm. On to the bad ones. Okay. Probably my least favorite item I never actually finished. It's the pain.
Same. We talked about it last time.
Mm-hmm. And it is.
And we're going to talk about it again. I'm going to conquer that damn shawl.
It's so infamous. And I really think the problem I had was my yarn.
Yours was the yarn. Mine was the crochet cast on. And that is none of this is the fault of the pattern. It's beautifully written. It looks like once we actually manage to get off our asses and start it, it will go very well. We just ran into a lot of blocks that were personal and nothing to do. That yarn was terrible.
Yeah, it really was.
We literally took it out back and set it on fire.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And explain why it was so bad.
So I picked it up again after a little hiatus, thinking that, I can do this. I can totally do this. I am ready to get back to complicated lace. And I pick it up and I noticed that a stitch had dropped. And I was like, okay, I got this. Save the stitch. I'll figure out how to bring it back up somehow. And as I'm knitting along, I notice that doesn't look right. And I think it was 3 or 4 rows down, the yarn had broke. Not just dropped.
Snapped.
Flat out broke.
Sad.
And then
It was so sad.
As I was frogging it, because I was going to frog back to that point, the yarn kept snapping. And I was just like, okay, you know what? Fine. Took it all the way off the needles, took it out back, set it on fire because I was done.
It needed cleansing by fire. Mm-hmm. Like so bad.
Sacrifice it to the gods of knitting.
Yeah, mine was just that I'm terrible at crochet. I have a very hard time. I have a really bad right wrist because I was in Color Guard in high school and beat the shit out of it. And then I attempted roller derby and nearly broke it. And it's rough at the best of times, but crochet really bothers it for some reason. And it's a giant crochet cast on. And once I got into the swing of it, it went along a little better. But about half the cast on was damn near crunchy because I had managed to crochet it so tightly that my yarn was great. It's some gray, I don't even remember what it is. It's just a giant cone of yarn that's gray, and I've got the purple beads still to go on it. I'm going to knit this damn shawl one day. It will fucking be mine. But I'm going to have to warm up on something else first for the crochet, because after about halfway through this billion crochet cast on, it looks great.
Yeah, like that cast on, I think, took us 2 hours.
Yeah, it took us about 2 hours to cast on.
Is it just a chain or is it like a fancy?
It's a fancy chain.
It's a fancy chain.
Yeah.
So you do like a chain, if I remember correctly.
It's like
you
chain
5 and then create a stitch, and then chain 3 and then create a stitch, and then chain 5 again. And then like after repeating that so many times, you chain 7 or something like that. It's intense, but it is so worth it if you see the final pictures.
Oh yeah, no, like there's a reason that I'm going to conquer this fucking shawl because I want it.
Did we say the name of the shawl? Because you guys call it
Yes,
the pain.
we call it the pain, but it's the Paon, Paon. I know it's...
And it's by Carrie Milani.
Yes, and it was, what is that online yarn magazine that it's actually in?
And now I'm blanking.
No, online only. No, it's the one that's basically by the knitters for the knitters. That's only online. Twist?
Pom-pom?
Nope, starts with a T. Yep, blanking. Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyways, on to your bad.
My bad is actually a Martina Bem shawlette that I made. It's the Buds and Bumbles pattern, and I really liked the pattern, and I really enjoyed knitting it. But I used the wrong yarn for the pattern, and that is why it is bad.
Seems to be a common thread amongst
Yeah.
us.
So I wanted to make it in cotton because she wrote it for cotton, and I wanted it to be like a summer or springtime shawl to wear around that's not like wool, so it wouldn't make me super hot, but just like something to wear around. So I bought this cotton yarn, which is knit 1, crochet 2, tie-dye cotton.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's pretty. It has. I got it because it was like the only variegated cotton, really. That was my option of the store I went into. But it is worsted, and the pattern is DK, and that was a bad idea. It's a lot heavier and thicker than I want it to be, and it just like looks weird when I wear it. It's not awful. I have pictures of it. It's not awful, but I just don't like to wear it. It's weird. I need to rip it out and do something else with that yarn. But I really enjoyed knitting that pattern a lot, so I think I'm going to be on the hunt for some cotton yarn at Kentucky Sheep and Wool to
which is the
redo that
perfect
with.
place because there's actually a vendor that does nothing but cotton, and a lot of it is gradients.
Yes. The gradient.
And it's
You have mentioned that,
gorgeous,
and that
yeah.
is what is in my mind when I'm thinking about this, because I really like the pattern. It like kind of makes like little flowers almost.
Yeah, because
and
I
it was
always get
really
drawn
easy
to this.
memorize.
I always get drawn to this vendor's booth because the gradients are gorgeous, but then I run away because I don't want to knit with cotton.
Yeah,
it's a
and
personal
knitting
thing.
with the cotton was not great. It wasn't awful, but I did a lot of it because I really liked the texture pattern. I enjoyed knitting it.
Okay, so now we are to the ugly. This is where we talk about our ugliest projects ever. And I'm going to go ahead and I will eventually link mine up onto.
We're all gonna link all
yeah,
these up.
and I'm almost ashamed.
Yeah, it says you.
I'm
That's your homework.
I
If
am
it
ashamed.
exists on Ravelry, link it.
Oh no, mine does not exist on
It's not on
Ravelry.
Ravelry. I've actually seen hers. But, and I actually don't own my final, my ugly. So I call mine the taco puke socks.
Oh.
And that gives a very good description of how these socks look. They were a basic cuff down, 1x1 ribbed through the cuff, stockinette on the foot. Because my friend at the time really wanted a pair of socks. She saw me knitting socks, and I was like, yeah, sure, pick out whatever yarn you want, and I'll make you whatever. That was a really bad idea. Don't do that. Because she went to Hobby Lobby and picked up this yarn. It's actually discontinued now.
I wonder why.
It's by Yarn Bee. It's called Walkaway, and the walk. I think there's still Walkaway right now, but this is the Walkaway with PBT, which was some special fiber that they had. It was basically a core going through the middle of the yarn
Oh, that sounds terrible.
that was supposed to be stretchy for socks. Let's just
You know
say,
what's stretching? Stockinette stitch. It stretches. It's like the whole point of it.
but like the biggest problem I had with this was the fact that I kept splitting the yarn because the core would be stretched out and then the yarn around it would be all loose, and so I'd end up splitting the yarn or I wouldn't catch the core. And it was absolutely a nightmare of a knit. And the colorway, which was pedestrian, go look it up, I swear. It is literally taco puke. It is orange
Just
and
sounds
brown
so
and
lovely. I was gonna say
green.
it's from lettuce. Yeah.
and red because you got to have the tomatoes in
What
there.
about some sour cream?
Actually, no sour cream.
Oh,
But the core was white, so I guess that's
a
kind of
little bit of sour
sour
cream if some of it's peeking through. Yeah.
But I have like flashbacks of this yarn, and it's just like, how in the hell did I knit with this shit? It was gross. Anyways, I'm gonna go lay down in a corner now and let someone else talk.
Fair enough.
Actually, I'm trying to remember. I think I may have brought this up, my ugly one, last time when we were talking about beginning knitting. It's the Gryffindor scarf from Hell. That I decided to knit just giant chunks of red and gold with yarn from Hobby Lobby because that was my option at the time for yarn shopping. And it's 2 different yarns held together for each section, one of which is like almost fun furry and sparkly. Not quite fun fur, but it's definitely not just regular yarn. Some sort of novelty puke. And it is not the same size going all the way up and down. It varies. The colors aren't even, they're just red and gold. They're not even actual Gryffindor colors. And of course, you know, I've come to accept the fact I'm not actually Gryffindor. I'm Slytherin. So I can't ever wear it, but it's one of the first things I ever actually knit when I started getting back into knitting. So it just hangs in my house and looks at me with eyes of shame going,
Did you like sew it all together in a big circle and make it a cat bed?
oh, maybe.
That may actually be a good idea,
I
yeah.
might could salvage it that way. Yeah, actually.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to look at this and see. Thank you.
Aha!
Ha! Because Gandalf will probably use it. Galadriel might. I don't know. I'm going to have to check this out. Because I have one cat bed, but neither one of them use it because I throw all of their toys in it as like their cat toy box. So, yeah. But I mean, it is hideous. It really, truly is. But it's just, I can't get rid of it.
So mine is quite ugly, and it's because of the yarn again. They're going to laugh when I say what yarn it is. It is fucking homespun.
Oh.
I knew as soon as you said we were going to laugh. It was Satan's yarn on earth.
So
Yeah.
I
I have very strong feelings about homespun.
but I get an amount of homespun yarn for free sometimes through my work. And so I decided I was going to make a blanket with it because I get it for free. Yeah, that was
I mean,
a bad
you can get
idea.
herpes for free too. Just saying.
Yeah. So I was just doing 7 by 9 inch squares, garter stitch, homespun. It's just the worst to work with, and it's so fuzzy, and I hate it. And there's this giant pile of squares sitting in my closet right now because I actually worked on it a lot. I used to work on it in my lunch breaks when I actually worked in an office. But it's not a whole blanket yet, and I don't ever want to sew those squares together.
Oh, God,
Every
no.
now and then Chad is like, I want a blanket. Why don't you like work on that blanket? And I totally started that with the intention of teaching him how to knit, and he was supposed to knit half the blanket, and he bailed on that, so I do not feel obligated to finish that shit.
Tell him if he wants a blanket, he has to seam them up himself.
That's exactly what I said, and he usually stops talking after that point.
Yeah, I would just repeat that until he shuts
I
up.
did make them in 7 by 9 squares, which is the Warm Up America size. So I might just sew in the ends and send them to Warm Up America and be like, sorry for the homespun, but these are blanket squares that you want.
Sounds
They're
like a
not
good
in my
idea to me.
apartment anymore.
Repurposing our ugly ones. That seems,
for a good cause
Yeah.
on your part. Mine's
Hey.
just for cats.
but cats are good.
I mean, my
I could
cats are
probably
evil.
also make mine
Let's be
into
real.
Something for the cats, I guess. I don't think they'd like it.
No, it's homespun. It needs to leave this house. Again, very strong feelings about homespun.
Yeah, I get it.
My grandmother gave me a bunch when I was first starting out, and oh my God, if that had been the only thing I ever tried to knit with, I would not be a knitter today. I would not be here right now. Would not own a wheel. I would not have gotten to all of this fiber art stuff if only thing I had access to was homespun. I would have impaled myself on my knitting needles. Just thrown myself as a release from the homespun.
Yeah, that was like one of the first things that I taught Alex when we were looking for yarn for him to make his projects out of. I told him, okay, listen, you can work with this yarn here, but not that. See that? See how it says homespun? Stay far, far away.
No touchy. This does not come into our house.
I don't care if you like the colors.
So they release colors for that all the time, and it is a very popular yarn. And I'm curious if any listeners are going to be like, "I love homespun," because someone loves it.
And
Someone
and they
find
are
it.
allowed. I mean, really and truly. If you love homespun,
Please tell us, and tell us why, because we would
please
love
tell
to
me
know.
why, because I don't get it. It knits the little string around it, makes it knit up a different. It doesn't. Blah, blah, blah.
My friend Kirsten,
Set it on fire.
the one I'm making socks for, her mom knits, and she knits blankets with homespun. And I'm not talking about knitting squares. I'm talking knits blankets, like lap size, couch size.
I wonder if it
blankets.
crochets up better than it knits. That's
I
not
have
something
no
I would
clue.
know.
I don't crochet.
Listeners, please let me know.
We need to know this for
I have
science.
purged it all from my stash and thrown it at Goodwill on the mercy of somebody who actually wanted it. But I'm curious as to what the uses are because I have none in my life for homespun.
So that was our good, bad, and the ugly. Everyone else listening, please share with us on Ravelry your good, your bad, and your ugly because we want to feel better about our uglies.
Pictures are appreciated. I have pictures of all of mine, so I'll share those.
Yeah.
If you guys have pictures.
Oh, I have pictures.
I know. I'm making work for you.
It's not even just work. It's just, oh my God, that Gryffindor scarf is so
Wow,
bad.
you need to share that picture. We
Go-
want to see how bad it is.
Go look at my socks, and you'll feel better about your Gryffindor sock. Scarf
Scarf thing.
thing.
Future cat bed.
Future cat bed. There we
Potential
go.
cat bed.
Yeah,
The
it's
cat
gonna
bed
be
of the
great.
future. Okay, so we did our good, bad, and the ugly. And I noticed in our conversations we had a underlying theme going on for tonight, and that is start-itis. We all seem to have been stricken with it.
Yes, but I've noticed in the last couple of days this overwhelming urge just to finish things. I might be coming down with a case of finish-itis, and I'm so excited.
The super rare
The super
finish-itis.
rare. I mean, I feel it. I'm just like, God, I want to get this done and this done and this done and this.
Run with
so
it.
I'm,
That's my only
do
thing.
you see
Just
me like
run with
churning
it.
over here on this worm hat?
I know.
I'm going to go home and actually pull out Taboo and get started on it again because it's so gorgeous and I want to
I
finish
want
it.
to do that, but I need to work on that sweater.
Yeah, no, I want to finish all the things. Like I'm coming down with a case. Hopefully it's catching.
Well, I've resisted the start-itis
We
for
should
now.
define start-itis. I mean, I think it's clear, but
Okay, go ahead. Define.
start-itis is when you feel the need to cast on a bunch of new projects, regardless
the
of how many
things.
existing works in progress you may or may not have.
All the things. I mean, I cast on 3 last month alone on top of not finishing any of my works in progress.
I almost started the socks with that Harry Potter yarn, even though I already have 2 socks.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Start-itis is actually a pretty common knitter's illness.
Yes.
Finish-itis is
Unless
it's
you're one of those like super rare, weird monogamous knitters.
But
No,
if you're
I'm
a
a
monogamous
slut.
knitter, you're not a start-itis fiend because
Right,
you
that's
don't.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They're-
Aaron was talking about the finish-itis,
Sorry.
the rare cousin of start-itis.
yeah. It's super rare. Start-itis, I think, is very common, especially in like I think December, January, when it's cold and you want to, or at least here in the northern hemisphere, it's cold and gross, and you just want to knit all the things. So
Especially bright things.
yeah, so I just cast on like 100 things. But finish-itis is very rare, and that's when you just want to finish all of your works in progress. So I'm going to try and roll with this because I come down with it maybe once every 2 or 3 years,
If that.
if that. So again, I hope it's catching, and maybe I'll give you 2 some finish-itis cooties.
Oh.
And
That would be good.
Yeah.
Sneeze
No.
on me.
I seriously have.
we rub my, worm hat on you. Maybe get the knitting germs.
I've been resistant to the start-itis so far, but I think between the two of you and the knowledge that I have to catch up with all of your all's knit-alongs, and then with my will work for yarn stuff that I have on the side, it's kind of like, okay, I need to get started on this stuff because I haven't even cast on my Taboo, and I haven't even ordered the yarn for the Jimmy Beans wool
Yeah,
thing.
just make sure when you do, you add the January into the cart and
Yeah.
possibly the February. I know that they put on there like what the cutoff date is, but you can add it just in the side and then we'll mail that one out immediately.
I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, no, it was very, because I, for some reason, had thought when they passed the cutoff date, that was it. But no, actually, you can get previous month's installments, which is awesome because I'm probably going to fall down that blanket hole any day now. Because, yes.
But yeah, so finish-itis actually hits me probably about once a year. It's not as rare for me as it is for many other knitters. I'm not having that right now. Right now, it is all about the start-itis, and I've been resistant. But I think once I get my next will work for yarn project, I'm gonna fall down and go boom really hard because the next project coming up for me is the Whippet. I don't know if you guys have seen that on Ravelry. It's a long cardigan.
No, actually, I saw that mentioned a couple times today on the monthly thread just because somebody was asking about cardigan patterns. Isn't it a lace weight?
I think it's a lace or a light fingering.
Yeah. I didn't
And-
actually look at the link, but I did. That's just weird. I did see that name a couple times today.
It's actually very elegant. It has kind of a textured edge to it. I have a feeling I'm really gonna like this one, just kind of like I liked the last one. And I really need to get started on things for me. But that's not gonna happen anytime soon because I have all these other projects that I need to do. But
Yes, but
start-itis.
tell them what you get in return.
So on the will work for yarn, you receive yarn in equal value to the yarn that you are knitting for someone else. So like with the row, she sent 6 skeins or 7. I've forgotten by now of the wool to knit for her sweater, And as payment, she sent me an equal amount of the exact same yarn for me. So I basically have a whole nother sweater sitting at home.
Whee!
For the Whippet that's coming up, Gail has been very kind and offered me a kind of an alternative. She said that I could choose yarn from her stash, or I could request a gift certificate. I chose gift certificate because yes. And it's $150 worth of yarn, and I may or may not have squealed in decibels only heard by dogs.
And Amber made the mistake of actually telling us this before we started recording, and Emily and I both made similar noises.
I think I said, "Oh my squee poops."
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I whistled, I think, and was just immediately thinking of what I would do with somebody. Would you like a $150 gift certificate to insert yarn here? And I'm, Wollmeise, what?
Well, I don't know if I can get the Wollmeise. I'm just,
No,
yeah.
I know, but there's so many possibilities. Like
There are a lot of possibilities.
Blue Moon socks that rock, like, or just Blue Moon in general.
So I need to discuss with
Madtage.
Gail about
Jimmy Bean's wool.
where we're... Oh, the
Etsy.
Jimmy Beans. She could pay for.
Right, that's what we're saying. Yeah, because that would pay for that
Yeah.
plus, because it's $6.50 a month. The pattern itself was
Far
like
too many
$4.
options.
Oh yeah,
Far too
I mean
many
that would pay
options.
for almost pay for the blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm running into right now.
Enable.
And yeah, not listening.
Start all the things.
All the things, all the yarn.
Knit all the projects.
You know, when you whisper, the mic can't pick you up all that well.
Yes, it can.
No, it really can't.
No, it really can.
It's just going to be subliminal in the babackground. We're just going to have a whole bunch of people who are like, why did I start so many projects this month?
Or why is there this blank spot in the middle of their conversation?
No.
No, why do I feel
I'll
like
fix it in post.
why do I feel like buying a lot of yarn?
Because you're a knitter.
enable.
Mm.
I do want to mention our social medias. Follow
Yes.
us.
Actually, I was going to, I'm glad you said that. I was going to bring up the fact that I talked earlier about the Yarn Love Challenge on Instagram.
Yes, hashtag Yarn Love Challenge.
Hashtag Yarn Love Challenge. All three of us are partaking in this challenge on our individual Instagram accounts, which I am Irish Water Fairy.
I'm Kitty with a cupcake.
And I am Bruise and Use with an N.
And I did make a post about that on our F This Knit Instagram that tags all of our individual accounts. So if you don't want to have to look them up for yourself, you can just go to the Fuck This Knit Instagram and find that picture with all three of us.
Oh, yeah, that
together
was a
in
really
there.
good of all of our introduction
Yeah.
pictures for that challenge. I'm really enjoying that challenge a lot.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it's super fun.
It's really getting me to think about my knitting. Like,
Not only that, yeah, because like the other day we were
There's a
talking about the fact
prompt
that
for every day. and you
right. So
post
the
a
other day it was
picture.
community, and we always hang out every Tuesday, but this was like Sunday.
Sunday.
So I was like, well, shit, what the fuck am I going to do for community? My community is Tuesdays and online. So, and then I remembered, oh no, I go to the Louisville Gore Club on Sundays. So I took a picture of my knitting at a bar full of people because that's what I do on Sundays.
Yeah, I thought about taking a picture of the monthly thread, just like a picture on my phone of the computer screen. But I went to a yarn store that day, so I was like, yeah, it kind of works. Knitting community at large.
Yeah, I thought about the monthly thread as well because that is my internet home away from home, is my home within LSG. I love it.
I don't remember what I did. Oh, my will work for yarn. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that was really nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you should go check out all those pictures and just check out that hashtag on Instagram in general because they're all pretty cool. I liked the speed day because all the
my
people were
gosh.
doing videos and there were some
Yeah, I did.
crazy speed knitters, my friends.
Yeah, I saw that. I ended up going for my spinning wheel.
That was cool.
I timed myself because I didn't have a way to actually make a video of myself. So I was like, and go. And then I realized how slow I was.
No, that's why I know I'm not the speediest of knitters, but I am a pretty fucking speedy spinner.
That you are.
So I forced my boyfriend, to hold my phone and help me with this video so that I could actually spin. And he's game. He's nice. I like him because he's learning knit-ease, basically.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
He laughed his ass off when I explained Sable to him, and he already understands what LSG stands for. And he's a big fan of LSG already. And we've been dating for like 2 months now. I like him. Yeah. Yeah. Way to be interested in something that I'm doing. But yeah, no, he totally helped me out and held the phone. Plus, he was super fascinated about the spinning wheel in general and how it worked, because he's been really wanting to see that. Knitting he's seen for years. I've known him for a very long time. And he actually was shocked the first time he realized there are times that I'm not knitting.
Wait, there's times that you're not knitting?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or I drink a certain amount of alcohol and then realize that it's probably time to put the needles down.
Sorry. I probably just killed the mic on that one.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
husband
it's-
really likes the
yeah.
spinning wheel too. And when we're on the couch and we're watching me, I'm like, should I knit or spin? He always says spin because he thinks the spinning wheel is cool.
Yeah, we were watching something and I got the spinning wheel out and it was just spinning to basically warm up a little and get to a point where it was good to take a video. And he just completely ignored the Doctor Who on in the background and was just like, how does this work? And it goes from here and oh, that's really cool. Yes,
See,
it is.
My husband's, he's like, whatever you feel like doing. And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll knit and I'll get out my knitting. And he's like, I'm going to get out my knitting. I'm like, okay, so now I'm helping you with your knitting. I'm joking. He's actually a very accomplished knitter and I'm very proud of him. And he listens to this podcast, so.
We love you, Alex.
Social media tangent.
Yes.
We are on Facebook, facebook.com/fthisknit, and Twitter @fthisknit. Thing that I update the most frequently is Instagram, just because it's fun to take pictures. I do Facebook with important news stuff, so Facebook is good too. I'm bad at Twitter. I'll tweet sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not very active on Twitter. I'm trying to learn the ways of the tweet, but Instagram is my jam.
I like pictures.
See, I've linked up my Instagram with my Twitter, so all of my Instagrams go straight to my tweets.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
I should probably do that too.
So I'm also very much active on our website. So if you have
Yes.
questions on there, I will see them within a day.
You can comment on episodes if you have a
Yes.
question. If you're not a member of Ravelry and don't want to use the forum for whatever reason, we will respond to those things.
And then I'm somewhat
Our website
active.
is fuckthisnet.com.
Yes, because reasons. And we do have a Ravelry forum called Fuck This Net.
We will talk to you. We will post pictures. It will be cool.
Yeah, come
And
join us.
thanks
It's fun.
for everyone who's joined already. You are super awesome and we love you.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
And we can't wait to talk to you next time.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So fuck
Fuck
it.
it.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
Fuck it.
Fuck this knit.